Good morning, my dear students. My name is Twayna. I am currently available at the Hamlet Tuition Center, Brahmatul, Kathmandu, and Kumudini Kunja Secondary School, Kalimati, Kathmandu. My dear students of grade 10, this is your science class, and in your science class we have been discussing about the lesson nervous system and glandular system. In today's class we are going to discuss about parathyroid gland and adrenal gland. Let us go to parathyroid glands first. The word suggests that parathyroid gland, it is present on the surface of thyroid gland, on the backward surface of thyroid gland, and in scientific term that is called posterior surface of thyroid gland. See, this is the thyroid gland, and these yellow markings, these are the parathyroid glands, and this is a real picture. Okay, and their size, they're very small. You can see just like a point in our thyroid gland, and they are 4 in number. Okay, so parathyroid glands, they produce two major hormones, parathormone and calcitonin. Parathormone and calcitonin. Well, calcitonin is same as thyrocalcitonin, as we have discussed in thyroid gland. Thyrocalcitonin is secreted by thyroid gland, calcitonin is secreted by parathyroid gland, and it has same function. That means it stores calcium from blood into bone. It stores calcium from blood into bone, whereas parathormone is just opposite of calcium. It leaches out calcium from bone and supply into blood, so it raises blood calcium level. So calcium makes your bone strong, whereas calcitonin makes your bone hard, and parathormone makes your bone soft. And that is because bones are actually evolved to store calcium. Okay, they are not evolved to support our body like they do, but they were evolved to store calcium in our body. Okay, let's have a look at this diagram. When you take your meal, your meal contains lots of calcium. Your meal contains lots of calcium, which are absorbed from your intestine. The calcium, it is absorbed from your intestine and it is supplied to blood. So calcium level in blood increases. Blood calcium level is very high. When blood calcium level is high, it is detected by certain system in your body, and that raised level of calcium causes parathyroid gland to release calcitonin. Okay, the high level of calcium in blood causes parathyroid gland to release calcitonin, and calcitonin picks up the calcium from blood and deposits it into bone. Calcitonin picks up the calcium from blood and deposits it into bone. Okay, and during your daily activities, when you are not eating, when you are not eating and you are performing your other daily activities, during such time the calcium in your blood is being consumed by your tissues. Your tissues, especially muscle tissues, they need continuous supply of calcium for contraction and relaxation. They need continuous supply of calcium for their functioning. Okay, and they get that calcium from blood, and as the calcium from blood is absorbed or used up by tissues, blood calcium level becomes low, and when blood calcium level falls down, it stimulates parathyroid gland to release parathormone. When blood calcium level is low, it stimulates parathyroid gland to release parathormone. And what parathormone does? It leaches out calcium from bone and supply into blood. Parathormone leaches out calcium from bone and supply into blood, so that blood calcium level is maintained and your muscles and tissues will perform normally. Understood? So here calcium is bone is the storehouse, okay, and calcitonin is the porters or the pariah who carries calcium from blood to bone. Similarly, parathormone also works as a porter which carries calcium from blood to bone to blood. यसो सोच, सपोज तिम्रो एउटा चाहिँ पसल छ हैन, तिम्रो पसल छ, तिम्रो पसलमा चाहिँ पसलमा तिमीले कति युनिट सामान राख्न सक्छौ नि, ल यहाँ एकचोटि हेर है, म एक्जाम्पल दिएर भन्छु। ओके, यो तिम्रो पसल छ है, यो पसलमा चाहिँ तिमीले म्याक्सिमम राखे 100 युनिट सुगर, ल 100 बोरा चिनी राख्न सक्छौ तिमीले। 100 बोरा धेरै भयो, पसलमा का 100 बोरा चिनी हटाउन सके, 10 बोरा चिनी राख्न सक्छौ पसलमा हैन, तिमीले 10 बोरा चिनी राख्न सक्छौ। अनि तिमीले होलसेलबाट चिनी मगायो, तर होलसेलले तिमीलाई 10 बोरा त ल्याइदिदैन नि है, कति ल्याइदियो त भन्दाखेरि ल उसले 1 ट्रक चिनी पठाइदियो हैन, अनि 1 ट्रक चिनी पठाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो 1 ट्रकमा उसले तिमीलाई चाहिँ 200 बोरा चिनी पठाइदियो, 200 युनिट सुगर, 200 बोरा चिनी पठाइदियो। अब 200 बोरा नै चिनी तिमीले पसलमा राख्ने त कुरा भएन हैन, 200 बोरा चिनी पसलमा अटाउँछ, अटाउँदैन नि, कहाँ राख्छौ त भन्दाखेरि अब त्यसलाई तिमीले गोडाउनमा राख्नु पर्यो। सरी, कहाँ गयो खै, गोडाउन, गोडाउनमा लगेर राख्नु पर्यो, स्टोर गर्नु पर्यो के, हामी नेपालमा गोदाम भन्छ नि हैन। ओके, यो 200 बोरा चिनी चाहिँ गोदाममा लगेर राख्नु पर्यो। त्यो चिनी आफै हिँडेर जान्छ र जान्छ, जाँदैन है, के गर्नु पर्यो, तिमीले परिया लगाउनु पर्यो है, पोर्टर्स क्यारी सुगर टु द गोडाउन, परिया लगाउनु पर्यो, परियाले बोकेर लान्छ हैन। अनि तिम्रो पसलमा भएको चिनी बेच्दै जान्छौ है, अनि बेच्दै गएपछि तिम्रो पसलमा चिनी घट्दै जान्छ नि हैन र। आज 10 युनिट थियो हैन, 1 बोरा बेच्यो 9 युनिट भयो, फेरि 1 बोरा बेच्यो 8 युनिट भयो, फेरि बेच्यो 7 युनिट भयो, 6 युनिट भयो, 5 युनिट भयो, 4 युनिट भयो, 3 युनिट भयो, 2 युनिट भयो, 1 युनिट भयो। अनि जब चिनी सकिन्छ पसलमा, अब के गर्छौ त तिमीले भन्दाखेरि यहाँ गोडाउनबाट चिनी बोकेर ल्याउँछौ नि पसलमा, ओके हैन, एकदमै अब्भियस कुरा हो नि है, गोदामबाट चिनी बोकेर ल्याउँछौ र त्यो कसले गर्छ त, 1 सेकेन्ड, अब त्यसको लागि चाहिँ तिमीले पोर्टर हैन, पसलमा जुन काम गर्ने स्टाफ राखेको हुन्छ नि हैन र। अब जब 10 बोरा चिनी ओसार्नलाई तिम्रो परिया बोलाउनु त पर्दैन नि हैन र। स्टाफ क्यारी सुगर फ्रम गोडाउन टु शप, यो हो नि मेकानिजम है। हो यस्तै गरिकन जब चाहिँ तिम्रो बडीमा यो होल बडी भयो भने, जब तिम्रो बडीमा अब सुगरको ठाउँमा क्याल्सियमलाई सोचौँ, क्याल्सियमको लेभल बढी हुन्छ, अब त्यहाँ एउटा परिया चाहियो है। अब यहाँ म यो सबै टर्म्सहरूलाई चेन्ज गर्छु हेर त, यसलाई क्याल्सियम भनौँ, हाई लेभल क्याल्सियम। अब यो क्याल्सियमको लेभल हाई भएपछि त्यहाँ परिया कसले परियाको काम गर्छ त, कसले परियाको काम गर्छ, पोर्टर एज क्याल्सिटोनिन, क्याल्सिटोनिनले परियाको काम गर्छ। अनि यहाँ गोडाउनको काम कसले गर्छ, बोनले गर्छ है। अनि यो भने यो शप भने त के हो त, यो भने शप एज ब्लड, यो भने ब्लड हो जहाँबाट चाहिँ कन्ज्युमरहरूले सप्लाई पाउँछ। अनि यो बोनबाट ब्लडमा क्याल्सियमलाई ट्रान्सफर गर्ने, क्याल्सियम ओसार्ने काम कसले गर्छ त, यो स्टाफ, स्टाफ भनेर स्टाफको रूपमा कसले काम गर्यो त, स्टाफ एज प्याराथर्मोन, यसरी काम गर्छ कि यसरी है। अब यो ट्रक भनेको के हो त, यो ट्रक भनेको लेट इट बी योर मिल, ट्रक भनेको मिल तिम्रो खाना। अब बुझ्यो होला है, ल तिम्रो बडीले कसरी क्याल्सियम लेभललाई ब्यालेन्स गर्छ भन्ने कुरा। यो डायग्राम फेरि एकचोटि हेर। Okay, let us go back now. Some diseases related to parathyroid gland. What happens if parathormone is released more than necessary? What happens if high level of parathormone is released? You can see in this diagram, what does parathormone do? Parathormone leaches out calcium from your bone to blood. And if excess amount of parathormone is released, then more calcium is leached out than necessary. More calcium is leached out from bone than it is necessary. In that case, what happens? Since calcium level drops in your bone becomes soft. Your bone becomes soft and weak. That condition is known as osteoporosis. Osteoporosis. Osteo means bone, porosis means softening. Okay. Look here. When parathormone is secreted more than necessary, it causes a disease called osteoporosis. Parathormone mobilizes excess amount of calcium from bone into blood. It makes bone soft and fragile. The calcium is ultimately excreted by kidney and urine, so it also increases the risk of kidney stone. If calcium level is very high in bone, more than necessary, then that calcium is filtered out by kidney and thrown in urine. And since high amount of calcium is filtered in kidney, this calcium might react with oxalic acid and other organic acids to form stone. Okay, so it increases risk of kidney stone as well. And next, hyposecretion of parathormone. When parathormone is secreted in less amount than necessary, then from your blood very less amount of from your bone very less amount of calcium is released to your blood. That means calcium level is not maintained in blood. Calcium level is not maintained in blood. And when calcium level is not maintained, then your muscles cannot function properly. Your muscles, they cannot function properly. Okay, and they will twitch themselves. They will contract themselves without our control. Okay, and that causes involuntary twitching of the body. Yes, the person does not realize, but his muscles are vibrating or moving somehow. Okay, look here. When parathormone is secreted less than necessary, it causes a disease called hypoparathyroidism. In this disease, level of blood calcium becomes low. Due to low blood calcium level, peripheral nerves became excited in uncontrolled manner. Peripheral nerves are the nerves which supply the muscles. It results in cramps and convulsion. Convulsion means unconsciously twitching of your muscles. Okay, that's all about parathyroid gland. Now let's go to adrenal gland. Adrenal glands, they are present on the top of each kidney. You can see in the diagram, this is kidney, above kidney it is adrenal gland, and there are two adrenal glands in our body. Okay, and they are also known as gland of emergency. Why is it so? We will come to that. Now, adrenal gland, they also produce several kinds of hormones, which are categorized into two categories: cortisols and catecholamines. Cortisols and catecholamines. And although there are 5 hormones mentioned here, you only have to study about this one, adrenaline. Okay, first of all, mineralocorticoid. It balances amount of water, sodium and potassium ion in body, and it decreases formation of urine. When mineralocorticoid is produced, it decreases urine formation by kidney. Glucocorticoid, it increases blood glucose level by stimulating synthesis of glucose from amino acids and fatty acids. So if your body becomes too weak, suppose you did not get anything to eat for several days, for a week, then your body does not get glucose from food, isn't it? And in that case, what does your adrenal gland do? Adrenal gland releases glucocorticoid, and that glucocorticoid causes fatty acids, BOSO, fatty acids to change into glucose. They cause chemical reactions in fatty acids that changes them into glucose. And if all the fatty acids are also exhausted in your body, if BOSO or fats are also finished from your body, then your body will start to digest or will start to break the proteins in your muscles. Okay, then they start to break down the proteins in your muscles, and by breaking muscles protein, it forms glucose, by which is supplied to your brain and heart in that way. That is why when a person is not fed anything when a person starves for at least a month, then what happens? Only skin and bone and very little amount of muscles remain in his body. If all the muscles are finished, then what happens? When amino acids or muscle proteins are broken down into glucose, it produces harmful types of chemicals as metabolic byproducts, and these chemicals, they might shut down our kidneys and livers. Okay, and when kidneys and livers are shut down, when they stop functioning, then death occurs. Okay, that is why we human being can survive only by drinking water for around 3 weeks to 1 month. Okay, if we do not eat anything but only water, then we can survive for 3 weeks to 1 month. It is not true that if you don't eat for 1 week you will die. That is not true. Okay, and next one, gonadotropin. It increases secretion of sex hormones by gonads. It does not cause real secretion of sex hormones, it increases. Okay, so adrenal gland itself produces small level of androgen, estrogen and progesterone. Well, these are the hormones that makes you either a man or a woman. Androgen develops man-like character, estrogen develops women-like character. Okay, progesterone neutralizes generally the effects of both androgen and estrogen. Okay, they are generally neutral, and they are also known as the pregnancy hormone. We will study about that later. Okay, next hormone is adrenaline. Adrenaline prepares the body for stressful situation. Whenever there is stressful situation, like you are in danger, you need to perform some work very fast. Okay, you are facing some dangerous situation that you need to run very fast, or you are playing sports. In sports also you need very high energy, you need to be very alert. Okay, all of those situations, they are stressful situation. The situation where you cannot rest and sleep, they are stressful situation. In such condition, your body needs lot of energy. Okay, and to produce more energy, your body needs lot of oxygen. To supply more oxygen, your heart must beat very fast. Okay, so they all are accommodated by adrenaline. So adrenaline prepares your body for stressful situation. How does it do that? It does it by increasing heartbeat, blood pressure, alertness, oxygen consumption, breathing rate and cell metabolism. Cell metabolism means production of energy from glucose. Okay, and then next hormone is noradrenaline. What noradrenaline does is, when the stressful situation is over, or when normal situation takes place, then it brings all these functions back to normal. It returns heartbeat to normal, it returns blood pressure to normal. Okay, and oxygen consumption, breathing rate to normal, all and all. And you have studied the same in ANS, autonomic nervous system as well, isn't it? Sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, actually sympathetic nervous system causes release of adrenaline hormone. Okay, sympathetic nervous system causes release of adrenaline hormone, and parasympathetic nervous system causes release of noradrenaline hormone. So they work along with autonomic nervous system. They work along with the nervous system. Okay, that's all about the hormones of adrenal gland. Let us see. Okay, let us see this adrenal gland. Let us justify adrenal gland as an emergency gland. This we have already discussed. Okay, adrenal gland is called gland of emergency because it releases adrenaline hormone during stressful condition and prepares the body for fight or flight response. Remember this term, fight or flight. In emergency situation, when you are facing dangerous situation, either you have to fight or you have to run away. flight. Either you have to fight or you have to flight. In both condition, you need very high amount of energy. Okay, fight or flight response. The overall effects of adrenaline is increased production of energy. Now, adrenaline prepares our body for fight or flight response as following. It increases rate of heartbeat and force of pumping by heart. So it raises blood pressure, pulse rate and cardiac output. So you understand this? Next, it increases oxygen consumption. It relaxes the trachea and bronchus and ease of respiration. Okay, it dilates your windpipe so that you can easily breathe in. You can easily take oxygen inside. Okay, it constricts blood supplies to urinary bladder and skin, so the loss of water is prevented. Constricts means, okay, constricts, not constricts, it restricts. Okay, restricts means it prevents blood from flowing through urinary bladder and skin. Okay, because both of them absorbs water from your blood and throw it as a wastage. Like skin throws water in the form of sweat, and urinary bladder generally absorbs water and mixes it in urine, and urine is formed by our kidney. Okay, so flow of blood is restricted to kidney as well to reduce urine formation. Okay, if urine is formed in such situation, then water is lost, and water is very important for energy production. So all the water present in our blood, they are channeled to the cells for production of energy. That is why when such response is over, you feel very thirsty. डरले घाँटी मुख सुक्यो भन्छौ नि हैन, म त यति डराएँ, यति आत्तिएँ, हेर्नुस् मेरो मुखै खर्लङ्गै सुक्यो भन्छौ नि हैन. That is because of this. Okay, because your blood, water from your blood is supplied to your cells for energy production. Maximum amount of water is used for production of energy. Okay, and then it increases breakdown of fat for energy production. अब एनर्जी प्रोडक्सन को लागि ग्लुकोजले मात्रै पुगेन, इमर्जेन्सी सिचुएसन भयो भने यसले फ्याट को पनि ब्रेकडाउन गराउँछ. फ्याट भनेको त्यो बोसो है, it increases breakdown of fat for energy production. Okay, any confusion up here? Okay, so this much we are going to discuss, only this much. In our next class we will be discussing about pancreas. Okay, pancreas and then gonads. That will conclude our lesson. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much, class.